Hey everyone, welcome back to the Suburban Homesteader. I thought I would do a bit of a autumn tour of our backyard and talk to you through a little bit more about what some jobs I need to do, and some upcoming projects. So let's get started. So we'll start off with our seedling section. So there's a whole bunch of things. I want to move these because it's more shady now that we're coming into autumn and winter, and during summer it had a lot more sun, so I really think I might move them into a more sunnier spot, but I have a whole bunch of different seeds that I sowed. I really need to get our new mango tree in the ground. This mango is a dwarf king Thai variety, which I'm really excited about. I've got a whole bunch of bargain bin plants that I need to put in the ground too. Whole bunch of succulents. I really want to get that lemongrass in the chook run, and that way I can chop and put it in the coop or in the nesting area if need be. And I've got some more other plants that I need to plant out here as well. Strawberries are going well. I've just put some extra fertilizer on them recently to give them an extra bit of boost and get a bit more happening. Got a whole bunch of different flowers happening in the garden to bring in those pollinators, but they're looking quite lush. The sunflowers are well and truly done, and I've given them to the chooks to enjoy, but I've got a whole bunch of other things going on too. I have had a lot of, this is my sacrificial broccoli. I've had a lot of issues, interestingly enough, with aphids this year. I've never had aphid issues before with my broccoli. This one's, like I said, sacrificial, absolutely covered. In previous years I've netted, and I was a bit slow in doing that this year. So we've had a bit of caterpillar damage that I've been just keeping on top of, doing some daily caterpillar checks. But the aphids, I've just never had so many issues with aphids on my brassicas before. So that's something that I've been having to keep on top of as well. But everything else on this bed's looking really well. I'm going to be taking that one out soon anyway, even though it's my sacrificial plant. I've taken some extra pak choys and bok choys and lettuces out recently, so I need to put some new plants in there, mainly some flowers and some more lettuces. This pumpkin vine, I've trimmed a lot back to try and let a little bit more sunlight in, but I think I need to do a bit more. I really want them to orange up a little bit more. When they're completely orange, that's when it's time to harvest. So some of them are still a bit green, in through here. I'll be interested to see if there's any more growing around the side here, just because it's completely covered. But I'm thinking I might do a bit more pruning and trying to let a bit more light in. But we've had some wet weather recently, so I'm not sure if today is the day to do it, although it's a bit more sunnier today, so I'll see. Just want a bit more light in to try and get them a bit more mature a bit quicker. But I've counted about 10 pumpkins. So we'll see how many actually mature out. So in this bed, the marigolds are absolutely pumping. Got a couple of different varieties of marigolds. Overwintering our capsicums, but we're still actually getting some capsicums off it. This is the mini bell one. Got some beets in there. I like to harvest the beets mainly for salads. I harvest the stalks and pop them in like stir fries or salads and things like that. And then the bonus is the actual beet itself when it comes time to it, but I really like it. I treat it like a celery almost. I've got some spinach. I've got some lupins that I've grown from seed. They're slowly going well. Some parsley, more spinach. I got some alyssums. I think it was Sabrina Hahn on ABC podcast was saying that the alyssums bring in like 17 different kinds of insects. So they're a hugely beneficial plant to have in your garden. I've got some extra lettuces that I've been pumping. I pulled one out recently. And then the snow peas are growing. So a quick tip with snow peas, the more you pick, the more comes. So the more you actually get. So the more you pick, the more snow peas that come. But the kids absolutely love pulling them off and just chomping on them as they go through. Got some more little spinaches. I purposely put the snow peas on this side of the bed because the sun comes from this way, so it's not overshadowing any of these plants. Although I've got a couple of little quick ones here planted when I first sowed the seed. In this bed, as you can see, I've had some caterpillar damage that I've been keeping on top of. a little bit of aphids, but I'm hoping that the plants will still go all right. I usually, like I said, I usually net, but there's a big one right here. The chooks love them. But I usually net, but I didn't get around to doing it. Also because I got the brassicas so spaced out, but I'm definitely going to get on top of it next year. Got some more lettuces, some more marigolds, some thyme, some foxgloves that I've had for about 2 years now, I think, over here. Some more snow peas that need harvesting, some more flowers. Thai basil's going pumping, although it hasn't flowered compared to another one I've got. Kale tree is well and truly done. It was a great trap crop for caterpillars and aphids. So I'm definitely going to be pulling that out today and just chucking it over to the chooks. And it will just, if they don't eat it, it will just break down. I've had some issues with my bok choys getting a bit hammered as well. But I'll cut them off at the base and hopefully they'll re-sprout, and I'll chuck these over to the chooks. But yeah, definitely some caterpillar damage as well. Another kale tree that I need to harvest. This is predominantly an onion bed and some brassicas. So again, we've had some damage, but they're still looking pretty good. I've got some flowers, some straw flowers. I've got a mix between red onions and brown onions. So I've planted some seedlings. I had a chook come in about a week or two ago and dig some up. So hopefully they've transplanted okay. But I've chucked a few extra ones in there too. So it'll be more of a succession crop than anything like that. But we'll just see how those ones pan out. But they seem to be going okay. It looks like they've survived. And these ones here, it was mainly these ones that I popped in that had been pulled out by the chooks, but looks like they're going well as well. And I've just interplanted some brassicas and some flowers and stuff too to try and maximize the bed. But yeah, the kale tree will definitely be coming out. This is our garlic bed. Garlic's going really well. I'm growing 3 different varieties again this year, but different ones that I haven't done before. So I've never grown these varieties. So I'm growing the Colossus, the Tassie Purple, and I've also growing... I'm also growing the Kangaroo Island White. So they were going really well. They were starting to germinate within about, I think, 5 to 7 days. So it's just a matter of keeping on top of the weeding. We've had a lot of rain the last couple of days, so it's definitely giving weeds a chance to pop up. This was a part of our basil bed, and a lot of little volunteer basils are popping up despite the main plants dying back. But definitely keeping on top of so they don't outcompete the garlic. But loads of basil popping up. And I've interplanted my garlic beds with marigolds. I have one previously had issues with like an aphid or something on some garlic before, not last year, but a couple of years ago. And I just find interplanting just really helps bring in the beneficials to help with that. So I love trying to companion plant and interplant as much as possible. So I've just done a whole bunch of marigolds in here too, which is starting to take off, which is great. But I'm looking forward to being able to harvest our garlic again. And I'll take you through that as the time comes. Our mandarin tree is looking really good. This was originally a dual graft between lime and mandarin, but I think the lime one had died quite a few years ago. To be honest, I haven't really done much to this apart from giving the occasional compost and some liquid fertilizer feed. I'll go liquid rather than pelletized because I don't want the chooks eating it. But it looks like we're going to get a bumper crop of mandarins this year. And they're starting to orange up, which is fantastic. Let me know in the comments below if you think I should thin it out a little bit and take some mandarins off. It's got a lot of mandarins here. I wouldn't say it's like over the top covered. I know sometimes people thin it out and take some mandarins or some fruit off so the others actually go a bit better. But let me know in the comments below if you think I should do that. I'll just leave it be. And then at some stage this year, maybe after this crop, I might try and maintain it and prune it back a little bit because I've done 0 pruning. This is our lemon and orange. We had a little bit of gold wasp issues a couple months ago now, and I've taken them out and disposed of it. Interestingly enough, this is they were both from the same company. This, like I said, a lemon and orange, and this is a much more lower growing tree, interestingly enough. But we're getting quite a lot of lemons and a couple of oranges coming through on this one. But this is another one that I've never really done anything for in regards to pruning. But I do need to maintain that. We've had some issues with citrus leaf miner, but it hasn't really affected it too much. And obviously it's loving being in the chook run because it gets their chook poo. This is our Florigan mandarin. It's going really well. I just need to do a bit of pruning down the bottom to maintain airflow as it grows. I really want it to come up and then have a bit more of a canopy up here. So I need to do a bit of maintenance there. We did have an avocado here that was gifted, but it had suffered with the summer heat. And then I've put our extra dwarf apple tree in there. That's the golden, Dorset golden. So that's going to be in there. And then the other mandarin, I'm thinking of pruning back a bit more of this callistemon and maybe putting it over here. Or I might try and put it over here and prune back more of the callistemon. So it's definitely going in the chook run. Just where is something that I'm just considering. I will be putting in the lemongrass in around here. I do have some rosemary and lavender growing here. And then obviously the wormwood that's kind of been just growing on its own. I'd like to chop it and putting it in the roosting and the nesting areas to help with pests and things like that. We did a large amount of pruning on this callistemon. Whether it was the right time to do it, I don't know. But we like to keep the bottom, a little bit of the bottom, a bit more open and free. One, because we like to walk in and refill up their chicken feed, as well as their water, but also just so we have a bit more access. And being winter, you know, they still have a bit of canopy and protection, but they don't need as much shade compared to summer. So by the time summer comes around, it should be a bit more bushier and a bit more protected down a bit lower. But it just looks really nice having it a bit more open down low. This is the Dwarf Allison Red Mango. It's been going really well. I've been trying to grow it in the 4 different directions because it's got 4 leaders essentially. We've got one main one and then you got the 4 branching out. Again, I do need to do a bit more pruning to it, but that's been going really well, and it really coped well during the summer with the shade cloth. This is the other mandarin tree that was gifted a long time ago. We're actually finally starting to get some mandarins. I believe it's an imperial mandarin. It was neglected for a very long time, and we've just been nursing it. And then we popped it in the ground a couple of years ago, and it's finally starting to give us some mandarins. So that'll be interesting. But it's another one that I haven't touched from a pruning point of view, so we probably do need to maintain that as well. And see how that goes. Right. So these are our Aspalia beds. They haven't completely dropped their leaves yet, but they will as we move more into winter. And that's when I'll have a look at doing my winter pruning. You want to prune during winter when you want to stimulate growth, and you want to prune during summer just to maintain what you've grown. So winter pruning is what I'll be doing for the next few years until it completely fills up. But it's been going really well, so I do need to do a bit of tie down, a bit of pruning. But I'll do that as we move more into winter. I popped in some extra garlic cloves that were the really small cloves that I had when I did the garlic. And they've kind of sprouted. I'm having to maintain a bit more watering because they don't get as much under the lip here of the deck roofing. But I dare say they'll be quite small bulbs, but that's okay. I just interplanted them as well to help with companion planting with these apple and pear trees. This pear tree, it struggled a little bit. I did have a huge basil plant right here that really took over this space. It kind of overshadowed it. The basil succumbed to scale, and it did transplant onto this one. So I'm really looking forward to winter because I really need to prune back this tree a little bit to see if it will help with thriving. And I want to add a few more amendments, maybe some trace elements and some sea salt just to give it a bit of a boost. But the leaves will be coming back very soon anyway. But it just needs a bit more love, this one, and I think that was because I had the basil plant in right next to it and it just overshadowed it a bit more. Had some chives and some more thyme planted in. This is the other apple tree as well. It's growing really well. Again, just some maintenance with pruning during winter. I want to have it so it's growing more in like a highway kind of situation. So I will be looking at taking off some of the ones that are branching out towards me and out towards the back. But we'll see how that goes. I'll put in some comfrey as well. It's supposed to be really good for planting around fruit trees. That's also another chop and drop to give a bit more nitrogen. And this is the other pear tree. Now, as you can see, the soil and all the straw and the cardboard has obviously dropped and broken down. More so in this bed, interestingly enough, than that one. We have topped it up quite a lot, but as a result, it has dropped the fruit tree itself. So as you can see, it's putting a little bit of tension here, so I'm going to loosen it off today, and it's pulled down this wire. So during winter, I'm looking at maybe doing a bit of surgery, so not only pruning it back, but maybe having a look at raising up the root ball and just topping up with a bit more quality compost and soil and things like that, just to bring it back up to a much higher level. So it probably needs to come up. I'll probably add about maybe 15-20 centimeters of extra soil and compost. So we'll just see how that goes. But it really needs to come up. I don't want it putting any pressure on the tree. I don't want it sinking too low. But we need to do that. Bit of a worm farm in both beds. That was a recent video. Planted a few more little extra garlic cloves here. There's one here sprouting as well. So here and here sprouting. And a couple more over here actually. So you've got a couple more here sprouting too. There's some extra cloves, but you know, they're germinated. These are our other two beds that are going really well. Obviously some caterpillar damage, but we're working through that. I have some dahlias here underneath the brassicas. Some more snow peas. Their lettuce is starting to go to bolt, but I'm going to be replacing that very soon. That will go to the chooks. Got some spring onions that are pumping. Heaps more flowers. I've left the rocket there for quite a long time now because the bees absolutely love it. But I'm leaving that there. Obviously, we're not harvesting it because it'll just be way bitter, I would imagine. Got some more spinach, more lettuce, some chard. And this is our zucchini. Our grey zucchini, if you remember in previous videos and on Instagram posts. So this is still going strong. So I've never had zucchini. I've usually had them already out by mid-May, which is when this is being filmed. And it's well over 3 meters now. So it's starting over here, coming all the way up and coming all the way down. And it's starting to get too long. Like I really don't know where to stake it to now. I really need to take some of the zucchinis off, but you got this one. That one's obviously not going well. Maybe didn't pollinate well or something. But you got loads of other healthy grey zucchinis growing. So it's still going strong, you know. So I would dare say it probably won't last too much longer, but who knows. But yeah, it's well over 3 meters. It's the longest zucchini that I've ever had and still going well right up until mid-May. Got a lot of fungus eating ladybugs on it, but you know, given that it's mid-May, it's going really well. But yeah, I'm running out of space for it to grow, so I'm kind of hoping it'll be done soon. But you know, the footprint of it is literally here, you know, so it doesn't take up much space, but it's just a matter of I've had to really stake it all the way around with some twine. These are our potato pots. I always grow potatoes in pots. I got the Desiree variety and the Kipfler, I think that's how you pronounce it, potatoes. Never grown those ones before, but we've got the 4 pots going and they're going really strong. So with this one, as they start to grow, you know, maybe 10, 15 centimeters above the mulching level, I like to top it up and mound it up, and then it just keeps going until it gets to the very top, and then I stop. So I really need to start doing that. Last season, I kind of wasn't on top of it as much as I should have been. And we didn't get as good of a crop compared to previous years. But I definitely need to start doing that now that it's growing really strong and it's quite healthy. Let me know in the comments below if this is how you grow your potatoes as well. I've never grown them in the beds, but I know a lot of people do, especially in long rows if you want a really big harvest. But I've only grown them in pots, mainly because I don't want to take up too much space. And it's really easy to harvest these. You just tip it over on a bit of tarp, dig for gold, and then I reuse the soil in the compost bin. But the kids love digging for them as well, so it's a bit fun. But no, they're going really well. Our chilies. I really need to take some of these chilies off. I was originally growing them for sweet chili sauce. They've suffered a little bit. I don't know if it was like chili thrip or something originally. and I've kind of been on top of it to an extent. I've never really grown chilies before. That one's definitely struggled. That's the banana chili. That was been struggling straight from the start. But I'm just having to keep up the watering because obviously they're in pots as well. But I really need to harvest the chilies, and I've just been freezing them in batches until I'm ready. But they've definitely got a few chilies there that are probably well overdue in picking. And I'd imagine it's overdue in picking because it has this wrinkly texture to it. But these chilies are about 2 out of 10 on the hot scale. I'm a bit of a wimp when it comes to chili, but I want to grow from for a sweet chili sauce. So I've just gone the lower end and see how it turns out. This is our banana alley. So the bananas are pumping. I really need to get into this one. This is our dwarf ladyfinger, covered in wasps at the moment. We've got a wasp nest over here on one of the ladders. But I really need to go through this one and take out some of the pups. Normally you only want 3 growing at a time. So I really need to take some of them out and just chop and drop it and use it for, feeding back into the plant itself. But it's going really well. The dwarf Nathan is taking a bit longer. This was a much smaller and younger pup when we got it compared to the Ducassi and the red Dakar. They're going really well. But we did have to shade cloth them during summer because we did have a scorching summer. But, there's still growth on it, which is great. But I think it's just going to take a little bit longer. The nasturtiums are finally going really well. The idea was to completely cover the base of the plants. And while everything was growing, I chucked in a couple of extra brassicas. As you can see, we've had some caterpillar damage, which I expected. But, I've just been keeping on top of it with my caterpillar checks every day. And then as we head a bit more into winter, it'll be a bit too cold for the cabbage moths to do any more damage, but we'll see. Just going to keep on top of it, otherwise we just won't harvest anything. So this is one of the cabbages. As you can see, a lot of caterpillar poop, but I've just been on top of it, but we'll see how it goes. So this is the other beds. They're just going really well. I'm really happy. The idea is to have a edible privacy hedge here, and then obviously during summer a bit more shade, but they're going to go really well. I love the living hedges. The idea of growing them in the beds, one, get them off the ground. Like, they're dwarf varieties. As you can see, they're still quite high, but, there's another banana there, and that's way higher than what I've got. And they're also 700 high. So I did want to have them as the tops canopy as a bit of the shade and the privacy hedging. But the other reason why I want them in the raised beds is they do... the pups do get quite prolific and can be quite weedy in a sense. And I have seen properties where the banana plants have actually grown over to the next door neighbours, and I didn't want that. So that's one of the other reasons why I wanted them up high. The another thing with the bananas as to why I chose bananas is that the leaves don't drop. So some branches and leaves, they drop onto the ground, and the bananas don't do that. They kind of they break up at the top, and they maybe get a bit windy, but they actually just fall on over themselves. So you see a whole bunch of them here where they've kind of fallen in on themselves, and that's what I kind of wanted. So you won't have to worry about pestering neighbours and things like that, or having to pick up leaves off the ground. But these are going really well. Looking forward to them as they get to that height. I think it will look fantastic. And just a few more brassicas and broccolis and stuff like that here, which I'm having to keep on top of. These were just some extra plants and some extra space that I had until these bananas grow. So we'll just see how they go. But yeah, just keeping on top of it with the daily... Oh, look, see? There's 3 right there. So I'll just take them off and chuck them on the ground. Normally, we've got a lot more wasp activity than previous years. Like, there's loads of wasps around. And, previous years I've actually seen the wasps attack the caterpillars. See, there's another one just here. And they normally attack the caterpillars and keep the caterpillar population under control. But I'm just not seeing that this year, despite the large wasp population. I've literally seen it in a previous year, a wasp actually sting a caterpillar to come back later. But I haven't seen that at all this year, despite the wasps. These just stop in there. There's loads of wasps. I'll leave them be. We've got loads of wasps. I'm not too worried. A lot of people get worried and spray them, but, they're also a a pest. They help with controlling some pests. But yeah, the bananas got looking really well, just loads of wasps. All right, so upcoming projects that I need to do, or some jobs that I really need to do. I want to plant out the lemongrass and the mango tree into our chook run. Got some other seedlings that I really need to plant out. I need to do another caterpillar check today. And then a project that we want to work on over the next few months is getting another bed in. So we want a bed. This is where an old barbecue used to be that my dad had built when we were young. We want a bed along here, so it's like a long L shape all the way along here. And the idea is to have some sort of trellising system so we can grow up plants up along it, but also have a bit more privacy as well. And I'm just looking forward to having a bit more growing space. I'm looking at putting a bit more fruit trees in, some low chill varieties, maybe some cherries and some more apples and some nectarines and stuff. But I'm just looking forward to having a bit more growing space. So it's going to be along here. And then I'm also going to be putting in a small bed here. That will be some of our roses. The idea is to, like the other bed will probably come about 500 out or maybe 600. And it's going to be timber because it's going to be custom. And with the trellising system that I want, it really needs to have, like I need to be able to customize it and screw it in compared to having more collarbond situation. But I'm going to be putting another bed here for the roses. The idea is eventually we'll like to get bees and we're going to be popping them here. And the rose bed will just also help with a bit of protection as well when the kids are around. And the trellises will also help with making the bees go up over the trellis, so we won't have to worry about them bothering too many people. So that's a bit of the projects and plans that we have coming up. That big bed is probably the major big one that we want to do. But it's just a matter of, timber prices and stuff. We have some scrap timber that we're going to be utilizing, but it's not enough to what we need. The bed's going to be about 10 meters long. I'm looking at maybe 60 centimeters high and about 600 wide, so 60 centimeters wide. And then the foot part of the L shape will probably be about 2.5 meters. So it's going to be a big long bed, a bit of growing space, but it's going to take a bit of planning. And that's something that we'll continue to work on. I really want it up and running before September, October, because I'd like to catch a swarm then for bees. So I kind of want it up and running by then, but we'll just see. Otherwise, thank you for coming on a tour with me today as to what's been happening in the autumn season. I will get along with my caterpillar checks. I haven't been out the last day or so. We've had a lot of wet weather and I've just been super busy. So I need to get on top of it today. And then start working on all those day jobs and projects that I want to do in the garden. So again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, the Suburban Homestead AUS. We're also on Instagram. We have a bit more daily updates and progress there. That's the Suburban Homestead AUS as well. But otherwise, thank you for watching. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.